March to test out the character. So you're going to go over to your library and you should see something like this. You should see stage library and you should be able to see the character displayed in your stage library. If you look on my screen, I have a number of characters in my library that I created over the years. So let me show you. So for like example, this was a character that I was working on. Cutout character that I created. She's not perfect, but she can kind of animate in a sense. Like if I grab her head, I can nod her head like that. Her arms, I can move her arms like that. I can grab her body. Rotate her body. She's kind of falling out of position here. This was back in the day when I was learning how to read, but you can see that it's somewhat odd. The legs need to be fixed. If a character here, when I rotate the legs, notice how the legs bend. So when I rotate the legs bend like that. One of the characters that I worked on. Now, whenever you add a character to your scene, so you're going to go to your library and you're going to add the character. So I'm going to delete these. Just simply select the group and delete them. Now, what you do from your library, when you're able to view your characters, and in order to view the thumbnail of your characters, you right click, view, and you can view your characters in list format or in thumb. So sometimes in the library, you'll see your characters listed out like this, or you may see them listed out like this. However, if you can change the view of how you view your characters by right clicking in your panel, your library panel, and going over to thumbnail, and you will be able to view the icons for it. So if you want to add a character to your scene, you go to your library tab, simply look for the character here, you click on it, and you drag the icon over to your screen. And that is how you import your character into the scene. Now, within Toon Boom Harmony, there is a network panel called, there's a panel called network. So you're going to click on your network panel here, and you're able to see the character that was imported into your scene. So you will notice that this group here, that is connected to this composite, this group represents this character called Bob. Now, if you want to create a drawing layer, let's say I create Control R, it creates a new drawing layer. That new drawing layer is connected to the composite, and that is how you're able to see your different drawings. Now, if I disconnect this character from the composite, it will no longer be visible. That doesn't mean that it's not deleted from the scene. It just means that it's disconnected. So you have to be mindful that you're not supposed to disconnect your character from the composite. When we open up this group, so this group here called Bob, if you look closely here in your network view, when you click on this triangle here, it will open up the network view for that character. And what will happen is that this is the network structure for the character called Bob. Now, these blue modules that you see here, they represent different drawing layers. So the body parts for this character, they're on multiple different drawing layers. So if I was, and I press 9, you will notice that we see multiple drawing layers going down. These drawing layers are connected to each other like how you would connect a puppet. So bring this down. Connected, they have a relationship with each other that is called a parent-child relationship. So, for example, we have the head layer here. So this is the layer for the head. And the head is connected to a peg here that controls that. And that head is connected to the neck. And that neck is connected to this body here. And this body is connected to the master peg. And the master peg is responsible for controlling the entire character. So we're able to scale this, so I can scale this character down in size if I want to shrink it, and I can scale this character up in size. But remember that they're all connected with each other through connection. So it's basically like how you would have a puppet on a string that has different, you know that a puppet would have strings attached to it. And you have a string that controls the hand, a string that controls the head. So it's like you're controlling a puppet. But in this network, these are the strings that control this puppet. These blue layers, these blue modules here, they store the different drawings. So for example, the eyebrow. Drawing module here stores the eyebrow drawing. So if I click on here, you notice that you're seeing the thumbnail for the eyeball drawing. And I can move this around individually. So this controls the second eyebrow. This here is the hand. This controls the hand, and you can pull the hand apart. Notice that when I move the hand over to here, notice that how it meshes in nicely. So when we get into rigging our characters, you will learn how to create this effect where when you move the hand over, it moves right into here. We notice when we rotate the hand, how it rotates smoothly. So this is what you call patching when we go into rigging. So notice it's connected to an auto patch. So this is to get this special effect here, where it sandwiches nicely here. You notice that a special module is created to this hand. So that's how that hand is able to be patched like that. And you notice that this drawing module stores the hand right here. So each of these contains a separate module. This here controls the entire arm. So that when I rotate, it moves the entire arm like that. And notice that the pivot, notice that circular here, notice where the pivot is located. Set for the drawing so that they can rotate. So the pivot is set for here. Pivot for the hip. So this is the torso. When I grab the torso, I'm able to move the torso independently. However, if we go up the hierarchy now, if I click this hierarchy here, the peg, it enables me to control the torso with the hands. If I go up the hierarchy, here, it allows me to control the upper body. So each of the pegs, you can control them independently. So I'm just showing you how the network, it works on a series, a hierarchy. So I can control the neck independently. This drawing module stores the neck. And if you look within this group, you will notice that everything is connected to this composite. And this composite is connected to a multi-port out. So within this, I'm going to come out of this by pressing the top button, and I'm now outside of the Bob group. So in order to gain access to the group, you would click on this triangle here, and that would gain access to the entire network structure. Understand what these blue modules store the drawing for the character. And this character, what it is just individual drawings that are stringed together. So this hand is here. I'm going to pull apart this character to show you. You know, see, everything is separate from each other. So this is the neck, that is the head. If we go to the face, I can pull apart the ears, I can pull apart the mouth. So everything is on its own layer. The nose is on its own layer. I also do the pupil and the eyes, the eyebrows. These can also pull apart too. The foot is separate, the knee, the thigh, the hip. So you guys get the picture. This character has multiple parts and they're connected with each other. So it's very important that we understand how a cutout character puppet is stringed together. So I'm just going to undo and pull this character back together. So that's pretty much how it works in terms of, and in order to animate this character, you have to use keyframes along a timeline. So remember this keyboard short B. So when you're using a transform tool, and we press, so if I select the hand here, and I press B, what happens is that, let me go on to the time, the network view. So before I was on the blue module here. That's why you see it look purple. But when I press B on my keyboard, notice that it turns yellow. And then it jumps to the peg. Notice that when I press B again, nothing happens. That's because it jumped to the deformer tab. So I have to press B again. And then I press B again. Notice now that it jumps to the arm. And now I can control the entire arm. When I press B on the keyboard again, it jumps to the entire torso. And that enables me to control the torso here. When I press B on the keyboard, notice that I'm going up the hierarchy. When I press B, notice that it jumps to this peg. And this peg is responsible for controlling the entire body. And when I press B again, it's now controlling the entire character. So pretty much notice that I started from the hand and I press B until I work my way up, until I select the entire character. I can even start from the leg here. So notice I select the foot, but the foot is over here. When I press B, it got jump to the peg here. When I press B again, it jumped to the lower leg. And now I can rotate the lower leg foot. B, and it jumps to this peg here. I can move the entire leg. When I press B, look the hip, and I can move that part there. And when I press B again, it now jumps to the master peg. So notice that, let me just extend this out. So notice that there are several options. Over here controls the upper body. So body part and work your way up the hierarchy to the master peg. Here is the lower leg, the lower half of the body. I can select any part of the lower body and work my way up the hierarchy until I select the master peg. What I'm going to do, if you're, I'm going to just do a basic animation where I make the character waves. So notice then that when I drag the head across the screen, the character disappears. So once again, we need to type, we need to press F5. We need to press F5 on our keyboard in order to extend the time, the duration of our scene. So all we do now, we just simply go to the end here and press F5. What will happen is that when I press the play button, the character will not disappear. it will stay on screen. That is because when we open up the group, are extended. Because remember, you know, the hand, the lower arm, the torso, they're on different layers. So what happens is that when you collapse everything, if I press 0 and I collapse everything, and I go to the end and press F5, it extends all of the drawings for each of the layers over here. So all of the drawing layers are extended to frame 60. So I'm now going to use keyframes to animate the character waving. I'm going to use my transform tool, and if you press caps lock on your keyboard, you're able to bend the hand like that and move the hand like that. So the goal of this is to have him just do a wave. So I'm going to do it in increments of 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So what will happen is that his hand would start here. Maybe his head would be tilted back. His neck would be tilted back a little bit with his head, like that. The body can move back a little bit. So that. So notice that I'm having some sort of a basic motion here, but I want the arm. So basically, I'm moving between frame 1 and frame 10, and the computer is generating the in-betweens already. So when I come here and lift up the arm like this, and then move that, lift his hand like that. You know what? His hand should be up like here, and then this should come down. The motion that I kind of want. Notice that I'm just moving between frame 10 and back. I want a waving action from him. Maybe, but notice that this arm here is completely stiff. I want some kind of motion to happen on this arm. So maybe I can have him, he can have a slight bend. So I press caps lock to activate the deform. This green thing that you're seeing here is the deformer. And it is activated when you press caps lock on your keyboard. You're able to activate the deformer here. We're going to have him have a slight bend in his hand. When it comes here now, the hand a little bit, slight movement here with the shoulder. That's too much, but so notice he has a slight movement with his hand. I'm going to create some kind of wrist movement. Maybe his wrist can be flexing like that. So when you move between those two keyframes, you're going to have a motion like that. I want to have a little bit more motion here. Move the arm down like that a little bit. Oops. Make sure you're on frame 10. So notice now that I have the elbow bending and I have the upper arm bending. But I also need to have some kind of motion on the wrist. So I could have his wrist, maybe his arm is going down. So maybe I could have the wrist come back like that. When it comes down, his wrist would come down like that. So we see some kind of movement on the wrist. Can make it a little bit more exaggerated. The hand would come back like that. So I'm just going to loop between these two animations to show you what I have so far. So notice that he's pretty much kind of doing some action like that. So what I would do next is I want to have some kind of slight movement. I'm going to copy this first keyframe here, Control C, go to frame 20 and paste it back again. Then I copy this keyframe, go to frame 30, paste it again. So I'm just reusing the key poses and pasting them alternately along the timeline. So that way, he'll be moving back and forth between two key poses. This is just a simple way to kind of get used to the whole animating with keyframes. If I play the animation now, notice that he's doing just that is just with two key poses, you know. But I just pose out two main key poses and copy and paste them along the timeline, and that creates somewhat of a back and forth motion like that. But if you look at his lower body, notice that how his lower body is completely stiff. No, we could have simply stopped here and said, all right, we have a character that is waving, but there are different levels to which you can do your cutout animation. It is some animators, they put a lot of detail into the cutout so that it looks a bit more realistic. So when I'm training you guys, I tend to train you from the perspective where we pay attention to detail. Now, if you are animating something for your own purpose and you want your animation to be much simpler, let's say you don't want to animate the legs, because if you were to show this on TV to someone, they would get the message. The message is that this person is waving. But if you want to add more detail to it to show that he's shifting his body weight to his legs, then you can go ahead and put more detail on it. So I'm just going to show you how I'm going to have him slightly shift his body weight and the difference that will make. So all I'm going to do is, like, when he leans back here, I'm going to go onto the master peg. So right here is the master peg. So I can select it here in the network view, or I can select any part of his body and press B and go up the hierarchy until I select the master peg. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the mouse. Let me see if I can. I want to move the mouse to the very top here, because if you notice the pivot for this character. So I'm going to move the mouse up here and slightly nudge him over to the left. So when he's moving between over, I want you to look at his lower part of his body. There is some shift in his body right there. Now, I'm going to delete these keyframes so that I can copy and paste them over again, so that I don't have to shift the body weight. So all I have to do now is copy this keyframe, this first one, copy, Control C to copy, go to frame 20, paste it. Copy this keyframe at 10, go to 30, paste it. Copy back this keyframe, Control C, go to 40, paste it. And so you repeat it back again. And let us see how it looks when we have the shift in body weight. notice there's a slight movement. We didn't want the movement to be too drastic because like if you were to stand up and do a wave, you would notice that there's a slight body shift in your overall movement. If you're making a drastic movement like this, when your hands are waving like this, your head is nodding like that, and your hand is moving, there should be some shifting of body weight on your lower body. So that was what we were doing in March with this whole animation. We were doing this activity just to start off to get used to using a cutout character. So you can actually, what you can do, we're going to end the session for today, but I just want for you to practice with this cutout character. You can find it when you're controlling the machine. You can find it on your in the library. For you, Adrian, I'm going to have to email the template to you so that you can use it on your, cause I don't think you would have this character. So I'm going to template of this character. And whenever you get a new character to put into Toon Boom, what you do is you would go to your documents. And in documents, I want to stop in documents. But what you want to look for is you want to look for Toon Boom's where's my library? All right, let me try. I have a lot of stuff in document. Folder here called Toon Boom Stage Library. When you open that now, paste your character. So this is where all of the templates are. When I paste them and I go back to Toon Boom, let's say you go over to your library. I'm going to extend this. This is your live. This is how you will be able to see. When you click on Stage Library, that is how you will be able to see your characters. So for you, Adrian, I'm going to send you this character so you can paste it. When you go to Documents, the machine, this folder will be here in Documents. So you go open this, the template. The templates have TPL at the end. So you will have, so for the duration of for the remainder of this day, you will have access to the computers at school, and I want for you to practice getting used to the Toon Boom Harmony software. So for now, for today, I'm going to end the session.